Imagine for a moment that the very things you struggle with, your fears, self-doubts, and insecurities, aren't obstacles meant to break you, but rather clues pointing you toward your true purpose. In the event that everything you have attempted to repress, deny, or conceal is actually the key to unlocking your greatest strengths, what would you do? In this lesson, we will delve into Carl Jung's theory of the shadow, which is widely considered to be one of the most influential ideas in the fields of psychology and philosophy. This is not only a discussion of abstract concepts. An epiphany that has the potential to alter your perception of both yourself and the world around you is presented here. By the conclusion of this voyage, you'll not only comprehend your shadow, but also know that inside it resides the key to your potential, your purpose, and your ultimate freedom. The most powerful truth of all is waiting to be discovered. Carl Jung, a pioneer of depth psychology, described the shadow as the unconscious aspects of ourselves that we reject or disown, qualities we consider shameful, unacceptable, or unworthy. Yet, paradoxically, within these suppressed traits lie the seeds of our most profound growth and transformation. Think about it. How often do you judge others harshly, only to later recognize a bit of yourself in them? Count the number of instances that you have responded passionately to a circumstance without fully comprehending the reasons behind it. Jung famously wrote, "Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves." The shadow is not just a vault of darkness. It's an untapped well of potential, buried beneath layers of fear and conditioning. Please pause for a moment to think. Are there pieces of yourself you keep hidden? Perhaps a fear of failure, repressed anger, or an unmet dream. Maybe it's a passion you've branded unfeasible or a goal you've persuaded yourself is bad. What if they weren't imperfections to be removed, but signs driving you towards self-discovery? Jung proposed that when we confront our shadow, we begin the journey of individuation, which is the process of accomplishing the goal of becoming whole. It is not for those who are easily discouraged. It demands courage, honesty, and a willingness to step into the unknown. That being said, the benefits are incalculable. People are able to discard the fragmented versions of themselves and walk into their full authenticity when they are able to identify as individuals. Throughout the course of history, every mythical hero has confronted the evil that is inside themselves. Hercules had to battle not just monsters, but his own inner demons. Luke Skywalker had to accept the evil inside before he could fully become a Jedi. These tales are more than just works of fiction. They're a reflection of the psychological journey that each of us must go through. The question that needs to be answered is, are you prepared to take that initial step? Are you willing to stop avoiding the aspects of yourself that make you feel uneasy and instead seek to learn from them by asking, what are you here to teach me? Jung's philosophy teaches that our shadow isn't an enemy, it's a guide. It manifests itself in our anxieties, our dreams, and even the relationships we have with other people. Have you ever experienced a dream that left a lingering sense of mystery? Have you ever found yourself pulled to certain individuals, ideas, or even conflicts for no apparent reason? These may be messages from your unconscious, urging you to explore what lies beneath the surface. The first stage in shadow work is to focus on one's awareness. Be mindful of intense emotional reactions, which are those instances in which you feel triggered beyond any reasonable explanation. These are frequently signs that there is something within you that has not been resolved. Following that is the acceptance step. This doesn't mean acting on every impulse or indulging in every hidden desire. It means acknowledging these parts without shame and understanding their role in your life. Just for a moment, try to see yourself in a position where you no longer fear your shortcomings, but instead view them as sources of power. To what extent would you be able to increase your self-assurance and authenticity if you accepted every aspect of who you are? Moving forward, we will go more deeply into recognizing and incorporating your shadow in the next parts. We're going to find actionable measures that may be taken to change what seems to be darkness into light, and we're going to investigate how this self-awareness can bring you into alignment with your actual purpose. However, Believe me when I say that the most profound revelation is yet to come. Stay here with us because by the time we are finished with this investigation, you'll have a roadmap, not just to knowing your shadow, but also to utilizing it as a compass for your future. Let's proceed with this journey into the depths of your inner world and work together to discover the extraordinary power that lies within you. The shadow manifests itself in our routines, in the connections we have, and most importantly, in the emotions we have. Have you ever been caught off guard by an emotional outburst, only to later wonder where it came from? It is common for your shadow to make its presence known during these moments, when emotion triumphs over logic. Why does it have such influence over us? It was Jung's belief that this was due to the fact that the shadow flourishes in the unconscious. The more we suppress it, the more it controls us. Picture holding a beach ball underwater. The harder you push it down, the more forcefully it resurfaces. Now, picture yourself in a situation when you could stop fighting and instead bring that part of yourself that has been concealed into the light. How much more control would you have over your own life? In what ways would you feel more liberated? One of the most exciting components of shadow work is projection. Jung argued that the traits we reject in ourselves are often the ones we notice and criticize most in others. Is it conceivable that you have repressed your own need to be noticed if you find yourself feeling annoyed by the arrogance of another person? It's possible that you've been denying your own potential if you find yourself envious of the success of others. The world reflects back to us the pieces of ourselves we have yet to recognize. According to Jung, knowing your own darkness is the best method for dealing with the darkness of other people. This is a rather straightforward statement. You should give some thought to the individuals who elicit the most intense emotional reactions from you. You should ask yourself, what does this reaction reveal about me, rather than concentrating on the actions of the other person? However, this is not about blaming oneself. Rather, it is about finding oneself. Each projection is a chance to recapture a bit of oneself. Now, let's connect this to purpose. So often, the aspects of ourselves we suppress are closely linked to our unique gifts. It's possible that someone who suppresses their creative side out of fear of being judged would discover that embracing it is the path that takes them to their life's work. Purpose isn't something found outside of ourselves. It's something uncovered within. Jung remarked, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." But how do we begin this process? It begins with in-depth reflection on oneself. Ask yourself, what do I fear most about myself? What parts of me have I been told are unacceptable? To what extent have I given up my passions due to the demands of my life? Create a note of these. Reflect. When you provide your shadow with a voice for the first time, you may be shocked by what comes out of it. Journaling is a powerful tool for this process. Jung himself maintained extensive journals, which he exploited in order to investigate his unconscious. He encouraged his patients to write down their dreams, as dreams are direct messages from the shadow. Remember to pay attention to repeated themes and symbols. What might it be that your unconscious mind is attempting to convey to you? Think of your shadow as an artist's palette. In the absence of dark tones, a painting is devoid of depth. The same is true of life. Integration doesn't mean letting your shadow take control. It means understanding its role in your journey. The cultivation of compassion, not just for oneself but also for others, is facilitated by this comprehension. When you understand everyone bears a shadow, you begin to connect with individuals on a deeper level. This journey of embracing your shadow isn't a one-time event. It's a lifelong process of growth and self-awareness. But the rewards are incredible. Clarity, inner peace, and the confidence to live authentically. Moreover, here is an important point to take into consideration. Your own personal development is not just beneficial to you. Jung believed that as we integrate our shadows, we contribute to the collective unconscious, the shared human experience. When you embrace your wholeness, you inspire others to do the same. The shadow isn't anything to dread. It's something to explore. And in that investigation, you'll uncover the secret to your fullest potential. When you confront your shadow and align with your authentic self, you don't just change your own life, you ignite transformation in those around you. The following step in this journey is to acquire the knowledge necessary to incorporate your shadow into your day-to-day life. By embracing the hidden aspects of yourself, you open the door to deeper relationships, enhanced creativity, and a life that resonates with your true essence. On the other hand, the most significant revelation is still to come. Join us as we reveal the ultimate key to unlocking your destiny through shadow work, and we invite you to stay with us. In the course of our exploration of Jungian philosophy, we will move beyond the realm of theory and concentrate on practical applications. Awareness of your shadow is only the beginning. Genuine progress begins when you weave these hidden qualities into the fabric of your existence. The first crucial step is radical self-honesty. This isn't about self-criticism, but rather about seeing yourself clearly. It takes a lot of bravery to confess things like, "I feel jealousy," or "I judge others unfairly." However, knowing is power. Imagine you're trying to organize a cluttered room. You won't be able to do so until you first acknowledge what is in the room. To a similar extent, you won't be able to incorporate your shadow until you acknowledge its existence. Keeping track of the things that set off your emotional responses is a good place to begin. The next time you feel anger, fear, or even admiration, pause and ask, what is this reaction teaching me? Am I projecting a hidden part of myself onto this situation? For instance, if someone's confidence irritates you, could it be that you've suppressed your own desire to be bold? This discipline of self-inquiry might be difficult, but remember, the aim isn't judgment, it's understanding. Following the completion of the process of identifying features of your shadow, the subsequent stage is to engage in conversation with it. Jung advised his patients to personify their shadow, treating it as a distinct creature to comprehend it better. Try visualizing your shadow sitting across from you and ask, what are you trying to tell me? What do you need from me? Journaling, meditation, or guided visualization can help create a space where your shadow feels acknowledged rather than rejected. As you integrate your shadow, its impact on your relationships becomes clearer. During the course of your relationships, have you ever become aware of patterns or recurring conflicts with particular individuals? Often, these patterns reveal unresolved shadow elements. Relationships act as mirrors, reflecting unconscious aspects of ourselves. Asking yourself, what is this teaching me about myself? Rather than blaming others for stress is a move that not only helps you become more self-aware, but also builds empathy and compassion about the situation. At this point, let's investigate how the integration of shadows can fuel creativity and purpose. The shadow doesn't just house negative traits. It's also a reservoir of untapped potential. The energy you formerly used to repress aspects of yourself may be transferred into creative expression, leadership, or invention. Some of the world's greatest artists, thinkers, and activists channeled their shadows into their work. The paintings of Frida Kahlo exposed her suffering and the struggles she had with her identity. Martin Luther King Jr. was able to translate righteous fury into a movement for more equitable treatment. The cultivation of creativity is facilitated by the acceptance of one's complete identity. Taking into consideration your own life, are there any aspirations or passions that you have neglected because you felt they were too risky? What if those very desires were your true self calling you forward? When you integrate your shadow, you reclaim the energy that you spent hiding it, which provides you with the opportunity to step fully into your potential. As we get closer to the last and most significant revelation, I would want you to take a time to ponder. The shadow isn't a burden. It's a gift, a compass directing you towards sincerity. Jung believed that genuine enlightenment comes not from rejecting darkness, but from making it aware. The most profound transformation happens when you stop resisting your shadow and start working with it. The question is, how do you bring awareness to the darkness? Vulnerability is a strong way to approach the situation. Your worries and anxieties lose their power when you accept responsibility for them. Vulnerability isn't weakness, it's power. This openness strengthens your relationships, encourages genuine connection, and enables others to see you in a more authentic light. It is the courage to say, "This is who I am," and "I am enough." Integrating your shadow also shapes how you approach challenges and opportunities. When you stop battling yourself, you walk through life with a greater feeling of clarity and purpose. Many individuals strive for meaning as if it's something external, but Jung reminds us that purpose originates from inside. It's the natural effect of accepting all facets of oneself. Your problems, worries, and secret passions are not obstacles. They're signposts leading toward your ultimate purpose. The ultimate revelation is that shadow work is not only about personal development. It also has the potential to bring about a change in the international community. You develop more compassion and become less reactive when you deal with the darkness that you bring into your own life. Imagine a society where people took responsibility for their shadows instead of projecting their fears onto others. The number of disagreements would decrease, the level of comprehension would increase, and the collective consciousness would grow. This is the deeper purpose of shadow work, not just self-improvement, but the evolution of humanity. At this point, I challenge you to look inward, not just at what you're proud of, but at the parts you've buried. Ask yourself, what is my shadow trying to teach me? How can I use its lessons to live more authentically? This isn't a one-time process. It's a lifelong journey. However, each day brings you one step closer to becoming the person you were always meant to be, complete, fearless, and fully alive. As we conclude, I invite you to share your reflections. So what struck a chord with you? What insights have you gained? Your journey may inspire someone else to begin their own. This isn't the end. It's the beginning of a new chapter, one where you step boldly into the fullness of who you are. Thank you for taking this journey. As you continue to penetrate the depths of your being, I pray that you will discover the courage, wisdom, and peace that you seek.